Why is it so hard for U.S. Democrats and Republicans to agree on war funding for Ukraine? When Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, visited Washington in September, he actually told Democrats, if we don't get the aid, we will lose the war. The U.S. has already sent billions of dollars their way. They're the single largest outside contributor to the war effort. And in principle, both American Democrats and Republicans largely agree Ukraine needs more money. So what's the holdup? What leads the president to say things like this?
Make no mistake, today's vote's going to be long remembered, and history's going to judge harshly those who turn their back on freedom's cause. We can't let Putin win.
So we'll get into the exact deadlock and what both sides are bickering over in a moment, but the root of it all is simply that American priorities have changed. Look at how Zelensky was welcomed in Congress the first time he visited about a year ago. Those are Democrats and Republicans standing up. There's Chuck Schumer and there's Mitch McConnell.
We, Ukrainians, will also go through our war of independence and freedom with dignity and success.
But Zelensky's second visit, 9 months later, after a dramatically stalled Ukrainian counteroffensive, that was a little more challenging.
Zelensky began the day on Capitol Hill with a series of closed-door meetings as he tried to convince skeptical lawmakers, especially Republicans, to keep the aid flowing.
Over time, as the war drags on and as more and more American money gets shot out of the cannon, Republicans have increasingly tried to kill two birds with one stone. Money for Ukraine? Sure. But tied to that money must be money for U.S. border security.
Republicans see an opportunity to use immigration as a wedge issue. They know that Democrats and the White House in particular really want to fund Ukraine, and therefore they're saying, well, we're interested in helping you out. Many of us support Ukraine, but we want something in return.
They call it the Christmas tree bill, right, where you just tack everything onto something in the hope of getting it to pass.
So instead of having a single issue bill calling for whatever sized aid package lawmakers can agree on, you have a $110 billion bill that actually combines many of the things that Republicans see as top-tier national priorities bundled in. Because while Democrats control the Senate, Republicans control the House. You need both for a bill to become law. So yes, there's, Ukraine security assistance, economic aid bundled in, humanitarian aid as well on that side, but also billions of dollars for U.S. customs and border protection, immigration and customs enforcement. So we're talking things like hiring more patrol officers, asylum officers, beefing up fentanyl screenings. The list goes on. This is not an exhaustive list, but it gives you a sense of the trading that's going on there. So, Democrats, if you so badly want more funding for Ukraine, Republicans say, you just got to sign off on this stuff too, because it's all super important.
What's, I think, a little bit different here is the extent of what Republicans are asking for. It's almost designed to be too much for Democrats to stomach.
By the way, that's Chris Galdieri. I should have introduced him earlier. He's a poli-sci prof, and he will help guide us through this back and forth. So, if you go back to the start of the war, the very first aid package for Ukraine, for example, it was tacked on to a massive $1.5 trillion omnibus bill.
Congress has reached a bipartisan deal on a $1.5 trillion spending package. Included more than $13.5 billion for Ukraine, more than President Biden asked for.
But the second aid package was a standalone bill, the Additional Ukraine Supplemental Appropriations Act. $40 billion for equipment, relocating civilians, emergency aid, all kinds of things. But only to do with Ukraine, nothing else. And there have been other aid packages since, but the one we're talking about today, the one that's all gummed up in the Senate, unable to break through even the most procedural of votes, that's the one Democrats and Republicans can't agree on, and that's the one that's going nowhere fast. So what actually happened with this Democratic Senate bill that was blocked on Wednesday? And how do both sides justify their positions? Well, the two sides have been discussing for some time now how much money to send to Ukraine and how much to contribute to U.S. border security. The perfect balance between these two things is the elusive unicorn.
There will never be a bill I'll vote for to help other countries who are very deserving until we control our own border that's completely broken.
There is a land war in Europe. Vladimir Putin is trying to take Ukraine by force, and he might just do it if we abandon them. So if you're for Ukraine, vote for Ukraine.
They've been trying for a few weeks to pass this bill with a border component to it, and apparently failing miserably up to now. But really, it's just an extension of a failure that's lasted for an entire generation. Almost everyone in the United States is unhappy with the situation at the border.
President Joe Biden says Democrats are willing to make significant compromises on the border, but Republicans reportedly want more. Measures to detain migrant families, a way to keep migrants in Mexico until their day in immigration court, and even more presidential powers to kick migrants out quickly before they can make asylum claims.
U.S. officials are seeing another sharp increase in migrant crossings at the southern border.
So I'm in the room trying to figure out if there's a space where Democrats and Republicans can agree on immigration policy changes. Unfortunately, thus far, Republicans have not presented anything to Democrats that we would support.
So Democrats said, enough's enough. No more debate. Time to move this discussion into phase 2. And so they called what's called a cloture vote, which kind of looks like I just misspelled closure, but this is what it is. It's very procedural, really like a step 1 to a bill getting off the ground. And it's a motion to stop the bickering, stop the debate. Let's get on with our lives and make this happen. But the vote failed. They needed 60 to pass the resolution, but they came up short. 51 to 49, the nays versus the yays. So the debate continues. And unsurprisingly, both sides say the other is to blame. From Democratic Senator Brian Schatz, you can't say I'm for Ukraine, but only if I get this wholly unrelated policy enacted. You can't be for stopping Putin from taking over a country by force and then vote against providing Ukraine the resources to do just that. House Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez argues it sets a very dangerous precedent to exchange domestic policy for foreign policy. But consider the Republican point of view, where they effectively argue Democrats' refusal to give more on border security shows just how little they actually care about winning the war in Ukraine. For them, keeping an open border is more important than the security of Europe or the Middle East, which is astounding to me, said Senator Mitt Romney. And from Senator Mitch McConnell, apparently some of our colleagues would rather let Russia trample a sovereign nation in Europe than do what it takes to enforce America's own sovereign borders.
The problem with Christmas tree bills is sometimes you could bring down the entire tree if you don't get consensus around everything. And that seems to be what risks happening here with this particular legislation.
And that's where we land today. Both sides unable to decide who should cede more ground. Ukraine was ultimately kept out of 2 separate stopgap bills passed over the last few months to keep funding the U.S. government. And Ukraine's military counteroffensive has faltered in a big way. There could be more opportunities for senators to strike a deal in January and February as government funding deadlines approach. But can Ukraine wait that long?
I think the fear in the White House is that if this aid doesn't happen, then that's going to be a signal for other countries to pull back and to draw down their support for Ukraine as well.
The United States is the indispensable actor here. There is no conglomeration of nations on earth that you can assemble with the military resources that would replace what the United States has given Ukraine. Eventually, if they don't get any more munitions from Washington, my understanding is Ukraine would be lucky just to hold on to the territory it presently has. The idea of reconquering territory becomes a pipe dream.
With next week being the last before senators break for the holidays, unless they agree to keep at it as we approach Christmas, it may now be too difficult to get a deal done by the new year. That's bad news for a country locked in a war it is in danger of losing unless it gets American